Mics are hot. Hey, Aoife, thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm guessing I'm pretty busy. So I'm guessing just like everybody else in
Yeah,
business right now.
yeah, you are definitely, this is a busy time for you. So
Mm,
I want to make this intro short and sweet, okay? So,
sure.
coronavirus, I think anxiety is building. So
Mm,
that's what the purpose of this is. It's a very serious topic. Um, you see the headlines. U.S. health officials say coronavirus outbreak is expected to get a lot worse in the coming weeks. It's a
hmm
worldwide problem. The number of sick is rising. So is the number of dying, unfortunately, as well. Conferences are being canceled. I, for one, had a conference to go to next Friday that just became an online event. Stores are running out of consumer products. Dr. Anthony Fauci from the NIH, National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, he's been making the rounds a lot. He says that the coronavirus is 10 times more lethal than the flu. There are, I know in our region of the world in Long Island, school districts are closing. Some of them are
Yeah.
already reopening. There's reports that people are stealing antibacterial lotion and masks from doctors' offices. Clearly people are
Yeah.
panicking. So without further ado, I want to welcome everyone to this live stream. This is a special edition of Be the Boss of Your Money. We're talking about coping with coronavirus in the workforce, in the workplace, and at home. I'll throw the first question out. This is your area of expertise, Aoife, but just first, tell everyone who you are. Please introduce yourself. I know you have a lot of credentials. You're an MSW and all that. You've got a lot going on. So how do you introduce yourself?
Well, Mitch, first of all, thank you so much for having me on this podcast today. And you're right, it is such an important topic, and it is top of mind really for everybody. So I am Aoife O'Donnell. I'm the CEO of National EAP. National EAP is a almost 40-year-old company that provides nationwide employee assistance programs.
Mm-hmm.
So EAP services for the workplace. And we also provide corporate training and organizational development services. So as you can imagine, if we're a provider of employee assistance programs, employee concerns and workplace concerns are top of mind for us and our priority. So we've really been consumed by this, for weeks already, but especially this week, things seem to be really heating up. For our local area here in Long Island, there are cases that are positive, and New York itself, where we're headquartered, is quite a their numbers keep going up, and they're one of the
Sure.
top two right now. Washington and New York, we have the
And
most.
what do you say to people right off the bat, just to calm them down, just relieve some anxiety?
My favorite phrase is action reduces anxiety, right? Action reduces anxiety. So we need to be mindful that as individuals, right, that we have the correct information from the best sources. And they're pretty much all media streams are throwing information at us, but some are not accurate. So we need to go to the best sources and have the most current information. The best thing then next to do is to really have a rational discussion with ourselves and say, okay, what are our exposure risks?
Mhm.
What are our own health risks? If you have a pre-existing issue, then we understand why this would be of great concern to you. So it's really knowing the facts and knowing what steps then you need to take to keep yourself, your family, and your community safe. Um, we don't need to be terrified. We don't need to be, on a scale of 10 out of 10 in fear. But I think action reduces anxiety. And action to me and to our clients is being as proactive as possible and creating safe workplaces, um, getting ahead of the issue, communicating for HR, communicating with employees, keeping them up to date, letting them know what action an employer is taking to safeguard them.
So, what are the symptoms of stress that people should be mindful of?
Right. Okay. So I think obsession over the topic, number one, constantly thinking about it, ruminating about it, Searching the web, watching media, fairly regularly throughout the day, searching for updates throughout the day. I think that's obviously signs of stress. If it's something that is making you cry, if it's making you afraid for your family members, those are definite real signs of stress. Impairment of sleep, change in behavior, overeating, over drinking, not being able to sleep, right? So those are some common things. And those are things we worry about because, anyone who experiences that for a prolonged period, it's going to wear them down. So then from a business perspective, this is also really going to can impact some people's performance, right? And their health and their ability to show up well to work. And if we, from my perspective as an EAP, we're always looking at things through a lens of an employer perspective and an employee health perspective. For us, we're relying heavily on the CDC, .gov. We're relying on SHRM in the United States, SHRM, Society for Human Resources Management. Those to me are really valuable, trusted resources. Let me just check. I know there's a few others that we're promoting. The World Health Organization.
Sure.
I think what we need to do is.
I have your website up here too, by the way.
Fantastic. Yeah, thank you.
Wants to check out nationaleap.com, and we'll talk more about where people can reach you and learn more about what you do in your firm.
We're all saying, well, what's everybody else doing? What should we be doing? Are we underreacting? Are we overreacting? And that's the tricky part, is knowing what's the right step. And Mitch, we talked on Monday, and you said to me, well, I'm a father and I have children, and I need to consider.
I'm responsible.
I'm responsible, right?
And you're a mom.
Job to protect them. Yeah. So global issues like this, local issues like this, any natural disaster, anything that causes such an increase in fear, it evokes that in us as parents and as family members to protect. I've been calling my mother, admittedly, almost every day. She's in her 70s. She has a pre-existing health issue. And just checking in. How are you doing? You okay? You feeling well? Are you staying home? Avoiding large crowds? So uncertainty is real. I can't tell people it's not. And anxiety is normal. It's normal to have an anxious, stressed response to this. However, the key is not to let yourself spiral, like you're saying. The key is to self-manage. Big key here is watch your media exposure. If you watch, cable news all day, you're going to be obsessed about it. If you're reading every article on the internet, you're going to be obsessed about it. It's going to be going through your head. We need to remember what is important, and that's time with family, productivity at work, remembering the joy in life, still planning future things that are safe and okay and realistic to plan at this time, and staying aware, staying informed. I mean, you're sitting here going, oh God, does pandemic open up new resources for governments, for countries? Possibly. Does it activate another level of response from everybody? Possibly. We'll see. We'll see. At the end of this, I suppose we're going to read about what does this now mean, right? But as employers, I think it's important that they take as much action as possible as well and communicate that. So demonstrating proactivity to employees, I think that's really critical.
Do you find that EAP service utilization rates are now rising, and is the EAP industry or sector equipped yet, or properly equipped to handle the possible volume that could come in?
Right. Then certainly that's something I've been looking at, right? We have not yet had an influx of individuals calling to say, I need psychological assistance for my anxiety. Okay. That has not yet happened. I do think that if quarantines go into effect and people are at home, then I think we're going to see calls. What we have seen is employers be proactive, reach out and say, if this gets worse, how can EAP help? So we're preparing for that. We do in-person counseling at our headquarters, and therapists do in-person meetings nationwide and counseling sessions. Is there a point where that'll all have to be switched to telecommunications? That could be possible and can be done. So phone counseling can be done, video counseling can be done. So the EAP industry is prepared to continue to operate and serve throughout any type of pandemic. Not any type of pandemic, throughout this. I don't see a challenge. Counselors are available on the phone, and that makes assistance very accessible. So we're always available.
I want to thank you very much for
You're welcome.
taking the time. This is a very busy time for you. So I just
It
want
is.
everyone to know how lucky we are to be able to have you join us in this
My pleasure.
very
Yeah.
hectic time. Plus, you have a family as well. So we're all busy, but you are doing a great job. Thank you so much for your time, for your advice.
Welcome.
And I look forward to this going away one day. And
Yes. So that's the reality, Mitch, is that this will go away at some point. This will subside, right? This is what we hope and expect based on historical trends. We just have to get past this really hard part right now, I think. Okay.
And I hope a lot of my business owner friends are taking a look at this stuff very seriously. I'm sure they are.
I'm sure they are. They're doing a great job.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to end this broadcast now, and
Sure.
I will see you hopefully for real face-to-face. Okay.
Exactly. Thanks,
Stay
Mitch.
well. Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Bye.